Thor got his strongest MCU power yet 7 years ago, without knowing, according to one Phase 3 theory. One MCU theory explores the moment that Thor unknowingly got his strongest power yet, and it answers many questions about his character. As an Asgardian, the God of Thunder's unique set of skills has been an asset to the Avengers since he first joined the team in the 2012 film. Thor has since experienced plenty of change in his life, from his stint using Stormbreaker to the return and subsequent loss of Jane Foster. However, one of the biggest changes for the character may be in a power that he has already unknowingly acquired. The Odin Force is the power used by the kings of Asgard, most notably Thor's father Odin. When the leader dies, it's believed to be passed on to the next in line for the throne. Thor was inevitably going to become the ruler of Asgard and, as a result, inherit the Odin Force. However, a Reddit user suggests that he's already possessed the Odin Force for several years now, even if it hasn't been explicitly confirmed in the MCU. It's possible that Thor himself isn't aware of his power, though he's already put it to use. Thor may have gained the Odin Force after Thor, Ragnarok. According to the theory, Thor may have already gained the Odin Force back in Phase 3 of the MCU. After Odin's death at the beginning of Thor, Ragnarok, Hela arrived shortly after. She instantly made a huge impression on fans and her brothers themselves, as she was able to completely crush Mjolnir with one hand. All fans knew about Hela was that she was the goddess of death, but no one expected just how powerful she'd really be off the bat. It makes complete sense though, as Hela would have inherited the Odin Force after Odin's passing. Thor and Loki fulfilled the prophecy of Ragnarok after unleashing the demon Surtur on Asgard, who destroyed the realm. Hela was killed in the process, thus the Odin Force was then passed on to Thor. It didn't seem like the God of Thunder was aware of this, since he didn't say anything, though it's possible that he just had much bigger issues to deal with in Thanos' arrival. Avengers: Infinity War immediately picks up where Thor, Ragnarok left off, and it is the film that has the most concrete evidence of Thor's Odin Force. How the MCU supports the idea of Thor having the Odin Force. When Thanos boarded the Asgardian ship at the beginning of Infinity War, he was already in possession of the Power Stone. Though Thor wasn't able to beat him by any means, he was at least able to hold his ground, which is a formidable task against the power of an Infinity Stone. The theory suggests that Thor should have been immensely overpowered, but was able to put up somewhat of a fight because of the Odin Force he possessed. The initial interaction with Thanos wouldn't be Thor's only show of incredible strength in the film. When Thor, Rocket, and Groot traveled to Nidavellir to craft Stormbreaker, the only way they were going to successfully make the weapon was if they repaired and restarted the forge somehow. Thor eventually did this by holding the forge open while withstanding the power of a star. Sure, he is a god with an incredibly enhanced physiology, but he probably still shouldn't have survived that. Thor barely made it out alive, and he likely has the Odin Force to thank for pushing his strength over the edge. Why the Odin Force would be a great plot twist for Thor 5. Perhaps it hasn't occurred to Thor that he now possesses the Odin Force, or maybe he has been aware all along and the MCU just hasn't explicitly acknowledged it yet. Either way, the power would be a great focal point for Thor 5, especially since the direction of that film is still up in the air. Making it clear to both Thor and the audience that he now possesses this powerful strength would open up a lot of possible storylines for Thor 5, and have him facing even bigger threats. Having Thor acknowledge the Odin Force also has great emotional potential. The Odin Force is possessed by the king of Asgard. Thor had to watch his home be destroyed, and then half of his remaining people slaughtered by Thanos. He's grappled with his place as a leader before, and the Odin Force would be a grim reminder that he is a beacon for a group that was almost wiped out for good. Thor's MCU arc has had some ups and downs in the past few years, but focusing on the Odin Force would be a great grounding plot for the character.